Hold on, man.
What is up, guys? It is Brad with College SportsCast. We are here tonight to do our big fuss show.
Can I please have your attention?
There's all a commotion around here.
What are you talking about?
Let them yap at you.
It's actually very exciting.
Brad looked like he seen a ghost, man, like on the end there.
What's up, guys? So it's Brad with College SportsCast. I have Jason Harrison on with me. What's up, Jason?
Man, what's going on? What's going on, man?
Man, not too much. And we got Hammonds with me tonight. What's up, Hammonds?
What's up, man?
We're here to have a little bit of fun.
Apparently, I wrote something about Nate Oates pushing a player tonight. It was a video, sort of, and my video went viral on Twitter. Like, it's blowing up from media members to. He apparently pushed a Missouri player during the game, during a scuffle, and it's causing a lot of ruckus on Twitter. So,
wasn't that bad. Okay. Wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but I still think you don't need to put your hands on a player, though. I don't know. Everybody has their opinions, though.
Well, at the end of the day, he was on their end, right? Yeah. And in order, I mean, a good coach would do that, but he a little fiery. Go on about your business. Go on back down there. Let's play this game. It's too early, but it's great for clickbait. Because I clicked on it like, what? He doesn't punch. Because my thing said he punched a kid. I was like, what? Clickbait.
I hadn't been on, so I haven't seen it. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I've been prepping for this show.
Good for you, my man.
I've been prepping for this show for the last hour and a half. So I have no idea on that one. But I did see where Tennessee beat the fire out of Florida earlier, about 20 points.
Man, we're rivals of Tennessee. And at the end of the day, we hate them worse than anything. That's just part of it. But Dalton Knecht he's a special player, man.
He's lighting it up, man. He had 39, I think, tonight.
And the thing about it, I tell people with him is even if you double him, he's still going to get his. You just got to stop everybody else. And at the end of the day, Florida didn't do that. Florida's defense was really bad in this game. They just could not guard anything tonight.
Brad, what did I say? Tennessee plays well at home.
At home.
They play
at home. Well. You're right. I know that, man. Yeah, you said that. You did. I'll give you the credit, man. They do. They play good at home. And that's where the game was tonight. So guys, we are College SportsCast. Jason Harrison is a former Ole Miss point guard that is with us. We appreciate him being on the show with us, taking time out to do this. And, of course, Hammonds is with me a lot, and we are here to do our big fuss show. I want to start with homefieldapparel.com. Go to homefieldapparel.com. Use CSCast as a code at checkout to save 15%. There's over 180 college teams to pick from. They have some really cool retro logos, mascots, throwback teams, lots of cool gear. Go check them out and use our code CSCast. And the last thing that I'm going to mention before we get started here tonight is, and I haven't mentioned this for a while, we are on WSBN TV, channel 30. You can check us out on Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, right at home. You have to download the BoxCast app. on the BoxCast app, you have to find WSBN TV after you download.
And if you don't want to see Brad's face, you can just turn the thing off. You can turn the channel.
But on the big screen at home, you can find us on Apple TV, Roku, or Fire TV. It is College Sportscast on Channel 30 on WSBN TV.
I just got to give you crap, Brad. You give me crap all the time, man. I just got to give it back.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't give you no crap. I don't know what you're talking about.
You know exactly what we're talking about. My Cowboys this weekend, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Hey, I warned you about this weekend, man. I warned you.
It happens. Let's move on. Let's move on.
I had to, John. It was Green Bay beating the snot out of Cowboys in their stadium. I had to. You'd do the same to me if it's the other way around.
I would.
So,
that's a fact. I would.
All right, so we're going to get started tonight. I got some basketball topics to start with. Then we're going to do some news, college football topics, and then we'll get to our pick six and our no-fly zone segments and do a little bit of debates for you guys. But we're going to start with our news. And the first one I got is this week, yesterday, actually, UConn is number one in the poll for the first time since 2009 in the AP poll. Is that a little bit shocking to you, Jason?
We actually talked about it. We actually talked about it. Remember, we said after everyone had gotten beat, it was like a historical. It was just something in the water. I'm going to say it was something in the water that the team was giving last week because they had the losing juice. And no, I'm not surprised. UConn was preseason number one in some polls anyway. They had a lot of returners from the national championship team, even though they lost a lot. So I'm not surprised. They have the team. They have a team to repeat. If you really look at their team.
No. I'm not talking about them being number one. Are you surprised that it's been almost 15 years since they've been number one?
They were number one last year in some polls, remember?
Not in the AP poll, apparently. I mean,
not an AP poll at all?
Nope.
That's shocking.
It's been since 2009 they were number one in the AP poll.
They was number one when they won it all, but that was when they won the national championship. But I thought
they had reached number one a couple times last year, but got knocked out.
I think they got up to number two last year.
Okay. But UConn normally plays well when they have good teams later, when they finally figure everything out. So I'm not surprised if they wasn't ranked since then, because UConn hadn't been UConn since then. If you think about it, they have some.
I mean, they won a couple of titles.
Mm-hmm.
They won 14.
Well, if
they
you
won
remember
last year, I mean, they won a couple of
2011
titles in that time.
If you remember 2011, they had to make a run just to get to the
2011,
tournament.
actually 3 titles. Yeah, you're right, John. They've won 3 titles since then.
Yeah, the 2011 team with Kemba Walker, they had to literally fight their way through the Big East tournament to even get to the championship and to actually get into the NCAA tournament because they was having they was really having an iffy season that year.
And then Kemba Walker got UConn, really hot.
He did. This team, to me, I think they're better when they got their big man Donovan Clingan. He's got a foot injury out right now. When he gets back, to me, UConn's the most complete team in college basketball. You got Newman, Tristan Newman. You got Caravan out on the wings. Then you got the transfer from from Rutgers, Spencer. That's been a big help to their offense this year. To me, them and North Carolina, I think, eye test wise, are the best 2 teams in college basketball right now. In the last 2 or 3 weeks.
I'll agree with you that North Carolina is playing that well right now.
Mm-hmm.
I still am a little iffy if they actually will go through the entire season and keep playing that way. but we'll see. But I do agree that they are playing that well right now.
I will say this about UConn, though. They got a little tough stretch here. Tomorrow night they play Creighton at home, and then they go on the road to play Villanova. And even though Villanova has not been Villanova as of recent, playing on the road at Villanova is still a tough place to play.
Still tough.
Kyle Neptune's always going to have his team ready to play.
Any road games, me and Jason's talked about it the last couple of shows. I mean, any road games in conference play is going to be tough no matter what conference. I mean, they're all tough. So I agree with you there.
I just want to give a shout out. Real quick, I wanted to give a shout out to my buddy from Sanford. He goes to Sanford University. They beat Western Carolina tonight, Bucky ball. I think they're 18-2. Bucky McMillan. That team's fun to watch. If you've never watched Sanford play, you need to tune them in. They're a really good basketball team.
Right there in Birmingham with our other partner, and John Roberts when he's on.
Yeah, they're a fun team to watch.
My next news topic is Gonzaga. Gonzaga had their 143 straight weeks in the AP poll snapped. This week, they have fallen out of the AP poll for the first time in years.
You know what's crazy about this is a couple people still had them ranked.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they lost again this past week at Santa Clara. Santa Clara beat them, and just by 1 point, but they lost. That is a conference game. And if you on this show, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that Santa Clara would have a shot at them, and sure enough, first opportunity they beat them.
Yeah,
and Mark Few is out of the AP poll for the first time in 143 straight weeks. So,
and Gonzaga lost that game. Santa Clara beat them at home, and then Santa Clara come back that Saturday and lost big to St. Mary's or at home. St. Mary's come in there and beat them pretty rough.
St. Mary's was actually they were actually picked early to possibly win the WCC this
they're
year.
Playing better basketball. They're playing better basketball.
But then they started out pretty rough the first week or two.
Yeah, they're playing better though.
But they've come on lately. Yeah, they've come on lately.
Yep.
Jason, what do you think about Gonzaga falling out of the AP poll?
Not surprising. Kind of like we said on the show. Was it Sunday? It was a Sunday or last Tuesday. Coach Few was one of the main ones getting transferred, right? And he would get the top transfer because everybody didn't want to sit out. So now that it's okay to transfer, you don't have to sit out, man, it's not his cup of tea anymore. So he's not going to get the top tier guys that will come sit down Gonzaga, get in his system and play. So now they're going to Kentucky or they're going to Arkansas. He was that guy. So his course of recruiting has probably caught over him, kind of like everybody else. Look at Ole Miss. Ole Miss got 7 transfers. I guarantee one of those kids would have went to Gonzaga. You see what I'm saying? If you're looking for a school to transfer to, Gonzaga was that school for so long. Think about it. Every time he won, he ended up getting 2 or 3 guys who were sitting out. Then next year, they're rolling year in and year out because he always had somebody sitting out. So now Santa Clara has called up. Now St. Mary's is called. He just got caught. I think he stayed there too long. It's just the playing field is so level now that he's not head and shoulders above anybody else in his conference.
I agree with you, man. Another thing that come out late this evening, Patino is out tonight. I think it's tonight versus Seton Hall. He will not be on the sidelines. He has COVID. I don't know if you guys caught that or seen that today, but he is going to be out tonight. I want wanted to mention that. And it is against Seton
overtime.
Hall. Seton Hall had a hell of a week a couple of weeks ago. Like, I mean, they knocked them all off at home to start out big, the Big East Conference play. So, and then the last thing I want to mention for basketball is that Dwayne Wade is donating $3 million to Marquette.
Wow. Kudos to Dwayne Wade.
This, but Dwayne Wade is donating $3 million to Marquette. They're going to be doing some scholarship offers with the money, and they are doing an upgrade to the basketball facility, practice facilities with the money. Yep. It's Dwayne Wade. I mean, well, I mean, he has plenty of it probably.
And he's also, and he's also getting his own statue outside the Miami Heat arena. Pat Riley, they had talked about that this past week. So good on Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade's a really good basketball player. That was probably all of ours. Well, in our era, like with LeBron and Kobe and there's some
Jason played against him or in the same time frame. I don't know if he had to play against him.
It was around the same time, wasn't it?
Time frame.
No, Dwayne Wade, I think he came out in when it
he was he left in 03.
I was done in 02.
He left in 03.
I was done in 02.
So he'd have been a junior.
He left Marquette in 03.
He left after his third year, right?
Yeah.
Because he sat out a year. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Think about that. Think about someone like Dwayne Wade being able to come in with less NCAA restrictions and not having to sit out at Marquette because he was a Prop 48 kid. So he had to sit out, and Tom Crean had that in his pocket. Think about that.
And I'll tell you something too.
Yeah,
those Marquette teams was really good. They had Travis Diener, Novak, the Jackson kid in the middle. Then they had Wade.
Big Robert Jackson.
That was a really good team in 03.
Had Big Robert Jackson and everything. Yeah, they had a good one. They had a real good one.
They beat Kentucky to go to the Final Four.
He had a triple-double. Never forget it. Yeah. Never forget it.
Dominated Kentucky. I'll always say this, not to get off on the Kentucky rant, but if Keith Bogans had been not injured, I believe we win that game. Keith Bogans was hurt, and he got hurt in the Wisconsin game a couple of days before. And I think if he'd have been healthy, it would have been a different game. But he was limpy the whole game. Like he fought it out, but he just wouldn't. He wasn't regular Keith Bogans.
He tried to play, but
he just didn't have.
All right, we're going to move on to some football news. So Washington, who lost Kalen DeBoer on Friday, quickly over the weekend. Actually, he was hired on Sunday while we were filming our show on Sunday afternoon. Jed Fish from Arizona is hired by Washington, and we don't have to get into it a lot, but what grade do you give Washington for this hire?
I think it's A+. Because look at what Arizona was before he got there. He turned Arizona around, and now you're gonna have some upset kids.
I thought Washington should have looked at Ryan Grubb, though.
I do too.
To be honest with you, but
I think his whole intention was to go with Kalen DeBoer, though, to Alabama. So, but Jed is a good coach. I like how he did it. He went in, had a meeting with his team. A lot of coaches don't. There's some coaches that we've known have not done that. They've just signed the papers and just ran off and got on the jet and left. And so I like how he handled the way it was handled. He had a team meeting, told him what he was doing. what to do and whether them recruits are going to stay or whether they're going to transfer. To me, it's tough because you only had him for such what was it, just like 2 years? I think 3. It wasn't very long.
I think he was just there 2 years. I'm pretty sure.
I think it was 2.
I think it was just 2 years.
It's tough on those players because now a bunch of them are jumping into the portal and getting into the portal, and I'm not even sure. I think they got a new coach. Oh, is that what we're going to now? So
to turn the page on that, to kind of go with it, Arizona today actually turns around very quickly, less than like 36 hours after Fish gets hired at Washington, and hires Brent Brennan from San Jose State, who was like 25-19 or something as a head coach at San Jose State.
I'll tell you this.
Very, very quickly, they turn around and hire him.
I watched San Jose State.
It's just quick.
They're improving. San Jose State is improving, but I don't like this hire just from the fact that a lot of those numbers were inflated from the COVID season when he went 7-1. Beyond that, he's not really had a great record at San Jose State, but he has improved that program compared to where they was. I just think they should have went out and got a bigger fit for Arizona. There has to be a bigger name for Arizona than Brennan. Not to knock him down as a person or anything, but I just don't think he's that great of a coach for Arizona because look where Arizona's going into. They're going into a tough league, and you're going to have to recruit against these other teams, and it's going to be tough. Losing Jed Fish.
I did hear that they're going to keep their quarterback. They're keeping that quarterback that they had.
I thought he went to the portal too. I thought he went to the portal.
It was their cornerback. They lost their cornerback.
I thought it was the quarterback. I thought it was the quarterback.
They lost the cornerback, but they're going to really miss Jed Fish. He literally in 2 years turned that program around to get them. They went to the Alamo Bowl, y'all, and they beat Oklahoma.
They were the third team in the Pac-12 this year. They went 10-3.
They did. So
yeah,
impressive. And back onto the Washington deal. I think he'll do really well at Washington. I think just give you some time. I think he'll be fine.
He had an impressive year at Arizona. I'll say,
he did.
Say that.
Who else will want Arizona's job? I
don't know for sure, but
so you have to hire somebody who got West Coast, who has
36 hours. You're not even giving yourself time to look around at all. So
this probably was in the works. Every coaching hire is a domino effect, and so think about it. He was just in Arizona winning, right? He just turned around that program. So you mean tell me they lose a guy who had already turned, they got to get someone who's still turning. And so that was a quick hire by Washington, but it was the right one. Because once again, you got to have somebody who has ties to the West Coast. You got to have ties that way. Yeah. You got to already have your foot in recruit.
They do.
And so
I agree with that 100%. Yeah.
But it's not.
My only thing with it.
Go ahead.
With any of it. It's just the speed in which they done the hire. That's my only issue.
It was just really quick. Yeah.
Hey, the portal's jumping. You better move quick. You got to move quick. If
That's
you don't
true.
move quick,
I agree with you. It is true.
Yeah, these kids will move quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they will. You'll lose if you wait 3 to 5 days. You'll lose 12, 15 players.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm surprised Alabama didn't lose more. I'm surprised Alabama didn't lose more. But you see what I'm saying? They hired him in like 49 hours, something like that. It was 49 hours, I think. Dion was on the prowl. You ain't gonna let Dion take your player. Dion said the portal is jumping. You know where to find me.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, I know. Also today in some college football news, Robbie Ashford committed to South Carolina. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I seen that today. I'm going to tell you something.
Robbie
This is
Ashford
going to be a
from Auburn.
fun. This is going to be a fun situation in Columbia because you got what's their backup? Well, it's not their backup. Their quarterback going into next year, Lenore Sellers. Him and Robbie Ashford are going to be fighting for the number 1 spot, and I think that gives them a fun competition this spring. Robbie Ashford's fun to watch if he's in the right system and the right situation. I just felt like they didn't use him quite the way they needed to use him at Auburn. South Carolina will probably use him the way that he needs to be used with the dual threat ability, instability. You know, they might use Sellers too, because we've been known to see South Carolina use 2 quarterbacks before. So I think this is a good pickup for South Carolina.
I mean, Ashford definitely can use his legs. That's for sure. There's no question about that. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a good pickup for them, I think, as well.
No,
and
he would.
The last one I want to mention, and Jason,
he wasn't a backup.
I'll throw this one to you, Jason, first.
Jerry was asking the questions why he was a backup for a little bit, but then he started a few games. He played a few games. He was then what was it? Peyton Thorne played the rest of the year, I think, into the bowl game.
Yeah,
but
they had a package where they used him some this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he played
quite
a bit.
Package where they used him.
Yeah, he played quite a bit though.
So, Jason, I'm gonna throw this one to you. So I'm hearing rumors that if Harbaugh was to leave Michigan for the NFL, I've already, you talking about that this stuff is like in works behind the scene. I have already heard rumors that it is likely a done deal that Brian Kelly's going to go to Michigan.
What do you
think about that?
I think we talked last time. I was saying, no, he shouldn't go. He shouldn't do this. But then when we talked about it, it was like, well, you know what? The NCAA is after him. He's like a cat. He got 9 lives, and you only get so many lives with the NCAA before they finally get you.
Yeah. And
I think
he interviewed yesterday for the Chargers.
And I heard that was his job. He wanted that job back then when it first came open. But I think Harbaugh, like you said, I think he's gone. Wouldn't be surprised if Brian Kelly, like I said, this was his. Wouldn't be surprised because the name of the game right now, you got to move fast. You already got to be prepared because they say, well, Harbaugh has an extension waiting on him if he chooses. Obviously, he ain't finna sign that extension no time soon.
He does.
He finna see. He might end up he might be a Dallas Cowboys coach. You never know. You see what I'm saying? He's one of the hottest names.
He could be.
You
just never know.
He could be the Patriots. All these open.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Well, and 2, Brian Kelly.
I was more interested. What do you guys think about Brian Kelly? Behind the scenes, do you think that there is talks and room and stuff like that going on with Brian Kelly?
Well, he did spend more than a decade in Michigan at Grand Valley State in Central Michigan. So he's got some ties there.
Yeah.
But do they want to go that route? Because there's other guys that could be in the fold, like Lance Leopold from Kansas. You got Chris Kleeman from Kansas State. And they might even go to the offensive coordinator, Sharon Moore. Promote him to head coach. But this would be interesting because this late in the game, if Brian Kelly was to bolt and go to Michigan, LSU might become a disaster next year.
I have no idea, guys, if this is true, but I read and heard that this is already being talked about enough behind the scenes that it is likely to happen. If
this is the Yahoo. Is this the Yahoo report you read like I did?
Yes, I think it was Yahoo.
It was a Yahoo. It was a Yahoo
report. I think it was Yahoo. I believe that's right.
I read it yesterday. Yeah, they mentioned a couple of things in there, but
I think that's who it was Yahoo. Yeah, and like I said, I am not saying that it's done, not at all. Okay, but you hear stuff, and I just wanted to throw it out there.
No, man.
All right, so we're going to move on to our pick 6, guys.
I'm going to say this. He left Notre Dame and went to LSU and had success. There's no other guy prepared. There's no other guy prepared to come into a big-time situation and keep things floating. That's all I'm going to say. Go ahead.
Oh, it'd be a good hire. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a good hire for sure.
No, I said pick 6.
Right. So we're doing our pick 6. My first one, guys, these are both college basketball things. I thought we'd stick with college basketball in the pick 6 tonight. And the first one is I want y'all to rank the conferences. Pick your top 6 conferences. Rank your conferences. So, Hammonds, do you want to go first? Do you want to do all 6? You want to do 3 and 3? Y'all go back and forth. How you want to do it?
I'll go. We'll just do it 1, 2, 3. Like, I'll go first. Jason second. You go third.
What we doing?
You go first. You go first, and then I'll go. Then Jason goes. That way it works.
You want me to go first?
You want me to just go? I'll go first.
Yeah. Go ahead.
From top to bottom, man. There's a tug of war here between the Big East and the Big 12. Like
top college basketball conference. Ooh, that's man. That's a tough one.
Gosh, I'd have to say the Big 12. You know, I know the Big East is really, really good.
I mean, I think it's pretty clear. The Big 12.
Big 12 has just got so many teams in there that can beat you on any given night, and you know they proved that a couple of years ago. 8 ranked
teams this week.
Well, I mean, you got TCU, you got Kansas, you got Oklahoma, really good this year. Houston, and if I'm not mistaken, Houston's 1 and 2 in conference right now, so they're getting a good taste of the Big 12. And Cincinnati's there now, BYU's there.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of which,
BYU's ranked.
Speaking of which, Cincinnati beat TCU in overtime tonight. So Cincinnati got a big win at home tonight. So that's a big win for
that road.
Where's Miller, baby? But yeah, I'd go number 1, Big 12. I just think overall, from top to bottom, they're the best league right now.
Well, I'm gonna give you top 6 based on facts and based on what I think as well. Of course, I'm gonna have agreement. Big 12. Big 12 by far is the gauntlet right now. You're going through the gauntlet. Then you got the Big 10, arguably the Big 10. Big 12 and Big 10, they got a chokehold on. It's the team. I wouldn't be surprised if they had 2 participants in the Final Four. Then obviously you got the SEC. I would choose the SEC over the Big East just because I'm an SEC guy, right? But the Big East and the SEC are fighting for that 3 and 4, and I'll say probably what was it? I've seen it. Yeah, the ACC. That's crazy how we not seeing the ACC no more. The ACC was always 1 or 2, you know.
At
so
the top. At the top.
Then you got the Pac-12. So if you want to look at it like that, that's basically how it stands up, how it stacks up. You know, you can flip 1 and 2, you can flip 3 and 4, but then you got 5 and 6, the ACC and the Pac-12.
I agree with all of that, Jason. I agree with all of that, except I would take the Pac-12 out of my top 6 and put the Mountain West.
I can't argue with you on that. Can't argue with you on that. We talked about that too.
I put the Mountain West in there in my 6. I mean, you got Utah State, you've got Colorado State, you've got New Mexico, you've got San Diego State. I mean, there's some really good teams in the Mountain West.
There's actually a big game tonight.
I would put Mountain West as 6.
Gotcha.
Utah State plays at New Mexico tonight, so that's a big game tonight for New Mexico to get another big win, quad 1 win.
Yeah.
So after them beating San Diego State Saturday.
Oh yeah.
So
exactly. I think the Mountain West is a really, really good conference.
2, I guess I would have to go the Big East. From UConn, Creighton, Seton Hall's getting better this year. Providence kind of went down after Bryce Hopkins got injured. They haven't played the best. Xavier is coming alive. Xavier's won 2 games in a row. Butler, I felt like Butler was getting better, and then they just kind of went on a skid there. Listen, the Big East is going to cannibalize. The Big East is going to cannibalize itself all season long. And I say that because there's probably going to be a champion that's going to have 4 or 5 losses in this league, because it's just really tough.
It's a gun.
Going on the road is not an easy thing to do in conference play, and we've seen that this past weekend and the past week. You go on the road, you better strapping up your chin straps, man, because you're going to be having a difficult time in those arenas and the fans on top of you. It's a tough situation. So, that's not my number 2. My Big East is number 2.
All right. You going to give us the other 4? There's 4 more.
Oh, okay. Number 3, man, this is tough, but I'd have to go Mountain West over the ACC. I like the ACC, but there's not, beyond Duke and North Carolina, there's just not a lot of teams in there. Like,
I don't think they're number 3. No, I don't agree with that.
I gotta go Mountain West. You got Utah State, you got New Mexico, you got San Diego State, you got Boise State playing really well now. You got Nevada, which ended up losing to Boise State the other night. And Boise State's another team that's on the bubble. And
Nevada's really good, yep.
And so they got a really good team. 4th would be the ACC. And 5th, no, let me rephrase that. 4th would probably be the SEC. And then the ACC would be 5th, and 6th would be the Pac-12. Pac-12 is an absolute gone. It's terrible. UCLA is not really good. Speaking of which, UCLA,
okay, so am I right in saying that you have left the Big Ten out of that?
Wait a minute.
Because I don't remember you saying Big Ten.
No, I got the list screwed up. 1 is Big East. 2 is 1 is Big 12. 2 is Big East. 3 is Mountain West. 4 is SEC. 5 is Big 10. 6 is ACC, and 7 is the Pac-12.
Yeah,
I got confused on what you. I got confused with the rankings the way we was doing them. But the Pac-12 is a problem. There's nobody beyond Arizona that's really good in that league. Only healthy Colorado
you've
team
got
probably
some
the best.
decent teams, but I don't think there's anybody that can challenge Arizona in that league.
No, and Arizona's got 2, and Arizona's already got 2 losses in the conference. So they lost to Stanford and Washington State. So they're vulnerable right now. Arizona is, but
now Stanford's got a decent team, but they
They
started
do.
out slow, and
But they don't.
Utah's got
They
a
don't
decent
play.
team
But
out
they
there.
don't play really well every single night. They're Jekyll and Hyde, like most of those packages.
Yeah.
Like for instance, you look at the other night, UCLA beats Washington on the road. Like, are you kidding me? UCLA beat them at home, I think. UCLA beats Washington. As bad as UCLA is, like, that's a really bad loss for
Yeah,
Washington.
UCLA is not good at all.
Yeah, I go on the road.
That's true.
Fiddle, to be quite honest. All right, guys, we're gonna move on to the next one. I want your sleeper teams for March. Jason, I'll start with you. Give me 6 sleeper teams for March.
6 sleeper teams. I'm gonna go 1 Seton Hall. I'm gonna go 2 Ole Miss.
I knew he was gonna say it.
No explanation needed.
Hey, I had to give him the opportunity to put his team in there.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
3, I'm going to say Miami. Even though they're not a sleeper, but it seems like his teams get better when they start playing in the NCAA tournament. I'm gonna say 4.
Yeah,
Texas A&M. Even though they're getting murdered right now by Arkansas at home, on the road. Their team, that's a tough matchup. They got a good guard and Taylor. What was that? 1, 2, 3. Was that my 14? Yeah, that was my 14. My 15 would be BYU. BYU, even though they're in the top 25, I don't think they're still getting enough respect. And I don't know if this team is still ranked, but James Madison was in the top 25, and I think they could be a matchup. One of those.
they were early.
Depending on who they draw, because Florida Atlantic is finding out. I can't say Florida Atlantic no more because everybody, their whole conference is after them. So, but yeah. So
yeah,
I said those 6.
All right, that's a pretty good list. What you got, Hammonds, for sleeper teams for March?
Sleeper teams. I'm going to take a look at Grand Canyon. They're led by Bryce Drew. They got a really good offensive rebounding team, and they have a win over San Diego State. Watch out for Grand Canyon is all I can say. 2 would probably
that's a good one.
Utah State would be another one. This is a really fun team to watch. They can get up and down the floor. They can score in bunches. Princeton is another team to watch. They played a tough schedule. I think they've only played one major conference opponent, Rutgers. Mitch Henderson's got a really fun group of guys to pull, and they haven't really played anybody. But they'll most likely win that conference, in all honesty. But they got 2 really good players, Xavier Lee and Caden Pierce. Both of them are really good basketball players. South Carolina. Lamont Harris is turning. He's doing a real big turnaround in this South Carolina team. They're still going to have to fight in this SEC because there's going to be a lot of games where they're going to have to win certain games to actually get a chance to be in the tournament. Michie Johnson, to me, is an all-SEC first-teamer. They had 11 wins last year, and they've outdone that this year. To me, he's coach of the year. Another one is Utah. They've kind of slagged off a little bit as of recent. They haven't really played as good as of recent. But I like this Utah team. And probably on my 5th one, it would have to be Dayton. Dayton, they was eliminated. What was it? Actually, they wasn't eliminated. They didn't get an opportunity to play because of COVID in 2020. And now they've got a really good basketball team. I'm really cheering for them because they didn't get an opportunity to play in that year. And if everybody remembers, they had Obi Toppin on that team, which, was a really good, fun player, a big dunker. And he was the brother of Jacob Toppin that played at UK. So Dayton's a favorite of mine, and they got a really good basketball team. And Deron Holmes Jr. might be one of the best players in the country that nobody talks about just because he's in the Atlantic 10. So those are my 5, and if those are 6, then so be it. But I think the one on that list to me is Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon's fun to watch. If you've not watched them play, their home atmosphere is one of the best in college basketball in the mid-majors.
I mean, I'm going to throw one out there that neither one of you said. I think New Mexico has the potential to upset some teams in the NCAA tournament. I'm not sure that they're going to make it to the Final Four or nothing like that, but I think they have the potential to maybe upset a couple of teams and be in the Sweet 16. So that'd definitely be a Cinderella and a sleeper in the tournament for me. So just to throw one other team out there that you guys did not mention. Jason, I wanted to give you a shout out, give you a chance to throw Ole Miss in there because they are playing some really good ball. And Chris Beard, in 7 months, 8 months that he's been on the job, whatever it's been, is doing an exceptional job at Ole Miss. And I told you when they hired him, he will get them turned around. We were doing some baseball shows at the time when they hired him, and I said it was a great hire when they got him. So it does not surprise me in the least what he's doing, to be honest.
By the way, just to give you a heads up, Arkansas at home on Texas A&M's up 18. Of course.
I told you, John. We made them look like we made them look like Golden State Warriors the other night. Our defense is just horrendous.
But I'll say this on that little effect: road games are difficult. They're playing at Bud Walton, so those games are tough, man.
They do for a game too now.
They won't score that in 2 games.
Who Arkansas? Yeah, Arkansas do. They're 0-3. Hey, they hearing it. They better play good tonight. They better play good tonight.
All right, so we're gonna move on to a couple of college football topics, and for our no-fly zone, I've got a few. Actually, I've got 3 here, but I want to try to be fairly quick with these. All right, so the 12-team playoff is going to happen next year. Do you guys think that the 12-team playoff in college football will eventually take over the madness for March Madness?
I think 12 is.
Do you think it's possible?
I think it should have been 12 this year. I think they messed up. It should have been 12 this year. Because if the top 12 team would have played this year, it wouldn't have been we would have got a better performance out of Florida.
It would have been fun. I mean, it would have been fun as crap if it happened.
We would have got a better performance out of Florida State. It would have given Georgia a chance to,
Jason, the reason why it didn't happen this year was money and contracts, TV contracts and stuff. That's
I get it. That doesn't mean they got it wrong. They got it wrong. It was a year too late. It was a year too late. You wouldn't have had to put out Florida State. Georgia still would have had a chance to come back and get into it. So it would have been remarkable. TV, everybody would have been looking at all these. It would have been listen, so many.
Ohio State only had one loss.
It would have been a fun time. It was a bunch of teams, like you said, had one loss. Man, it would have been people would have been on the edge of their seats trying to see who got in that 12 and all the other.
I agree with you. It would have been killer.
See,
so that's my question, John. With as fun as it's going to be, do you think that it will eventually take over the madness of March Madness? No. That's my question.
No, it won't.
You don't think
it will come close to the NFL playoffs. because you're going to have, sort of like the same thing, and you got the momentum and the fan base behind you. It'll be sort of like the NFL, the way they run things, the way they're
I'm with you on that.
dialogue is, the way they fix things, the way they got it laid out. I think
so you got it as a no-fly. You don't think it'll overtake March Madness?
March Madness is in the league of its own, man. Like,
yeah.
Jason can tell you that he played in it.
You're right. No arguments here. You're exactly right. But what I will tell you, it will give us, when the conference is over and we got to wait till the end of December for some football, we won't have to wait till the end of December because they have to play them games a little sooner.
Here's the thing about March Madness that people don't get. You have the SEC tournaments, you have the Pac-12 tournaments, you get all these tournaments a week before. And then Jason can probably tell you, you're going on airplanes, you're going from back and forth to different arenas. It could be snowing, it could be pretty. I mean, the magic of it is what I'm saying.
It's the ambiance and the way they set things up.
There's going to be some magic on the.
Yeah,
but I think there's going to be some magic in these college football playoffs too.
Well, there is.
I mean, the first round's going to be at camp on campus.
Oh, come on now!
It's in December. You're likely to have some snow, and and end up in January.
Even if you don't have snow, it's going to be cold.
These games are going to be great.
Now watch this. And this is the other thing they're not talking about. Students normally go home. Students will stay on campus and with no classes. No class. Yeah. Oh my! Listen. Can you imagine that? You don't have no school
to go to the first round playoff games. Yeah, absolutely.
Come on, man. Really? Hey, listen. I would not go home. Yeah. I might even rent my apartment out. I will make some money. Me being me, I'm gonna make some money. I'm gonna rent my Airbnb in my apartment out because guess what? We're hosting. Yeah. It's gonna be a great time. Ole Miss better not get.
Speaking of the NCAA tournament, didn't y'all play Michigan State?
We did.
In the second game, I think.
Yes, second game. That Martine Cleaves team. Oh, yeah, in Milwaukee. I won't forget it.
It was tough, wasn't it? Y'all hung with them for almost 2 halves, man.
But then talent always rises to the top. At the end of the day, when you have studs, you have dudes. Eventually, when you don't have enough of them, the team with the most studs, like we played against Arizona, Sweet 16. Hey, guess what? I didn't know. Gilbert Arenas was a track star. Found out in that game. Try to run him from behind. Fastest guy ever seen with the ball. Fastest guy ever. He got that ball and took off. Like, oh my God. He got another gear. So yeah.
Oh goodness, that's pretty good.
All right, so I'm going to agree with you on that, guys. I really think that it's going to be hard for it to overtake March Madness. However, I think it could give it a run for its money. I really do. Now, I don't think it will in the first year, but you go 2-3 years down the road, I think it could take off and really give March Madness a run for the money. So I'll go no fly on that.
Well, here's what you're going to have.
John and I have kind of talked about the transfer window here.
Here's what you're going to have real quick, Brad. What you're going to have.
I'm bringing this up because in the playoffs.
Gotcha.
Hang on a minute. In the playoffs, the teams that got eliminated, they were given 5 extra days in the transfer window for their players to transfer after they were eliminated. So my question is shouldn't they be doing that for the playoffs and the bowl games for every team and not open the window in December during bowl preparation, during high school recruiting window, early signing and all that? Shouldn't that be changed to where it's after the bowl games and playoffs?
Well, like I know, there are certain people whose job titles are recruiting coordinator, and it is their job to make sure that they stay on top of it. It's somebody in every program. I agree with you. Now, with enough people griping, I think that they might make an amendment to that rule or that window. But at the same time, man, if you're playing in a bowl game, if you're playing in a bowl game, that means you're really not worried about said recruits. You're not worried about certain recruits because you really have your team intact. This thing, if you're one of these top 12 teams in the country, you're going to know who coming out anyway because everybody talks. You're going to put fillers out. I talked to a college basketball coach, and I know it's the same. It probably is the same thing. They actually played at Arkansas. A kid from there had a great game. One of the players came up to him and said, "Hey, you're going to be at Arkansas next year, ain't you?" It's little things like that there are plants out there. They're doing plants because you have to re-recruit your whole team. You can't worry about a transfer when you got kids who gonna transfer you. You got to re-recruit your whole team. So when it comes down to that time, you already know who is unhappy, who's going to leave. You already know.
But that's another reason. That's another reason right there that they shouldn't be having to do that in the middle of all that and trying to prep for bowl.
I'm pretty sure if
playoffs and everything else.
I'm pretty sure if one of these 5 4-star guys is talking about coming out, one of these top schools have recruited them and got a relationship with somebody. And what they always say, if anything changes, don't hesitate to reach out. And somebody in their camp going to reach out to their said favorite school and see if what they want to do. If not, they're going to jump in that portal, wait on them calls, then make a decision.
I have to say, for me on this one, this is absolutely a fly. It should be changed till after the bowl games and the playoffs.
Well,
it should not be open. I mean, it's not even. It shouldn't even be under discussion, really, if you ask me.
Listen, you know my stance on this, so I'm going to say it's fly. We've talked about this a lot. Jason kind of went deeper, so that's fine. He won't have. I won't have to go as far as I went the last time, so I'm just going to say this is a fly because you know my feelings on this. So,
yeah. I mean, John and I have already kind of talked about this one, but Jason was with us tonight, so I kind of wanted to throw that out. And
I'm going to say this, Joshua.
Points on it.
Joshua, he said Texas A&M's getting beat 39-25 right now. Listen, man, it's a road game. If this was a home game, A&M probably wins this game.
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, Texas A&M offensively is a bad team. They are a bad team offensively. Yeah, and we made them look like the Globetrotters.
You got to go back and watch some of the film. Some of those shots were contested. Some of those shots were contested Saturday.
I'm just saying, it's plain and simple, John. That's all I'm going to say about it. All right. So the last topic, I think I pulled it up, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. The last topic here is bowl games. Do you guys think with the 12-team playoff that college football should reduce the number of bowl games?
No.
There was 41 bowl games this year, and over half of them nobody cared about, including the players who were all opting out, transferring. The transfer window was open. Most of these bowl games were played with third-string quarterbacks. There was some of them that was started with tight ends playing quarterback. There were tight ends playing offensive line. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just you're going to get these kids hurt.
Well,
here's football. It's
here's
physical.
Here's my stance on it. Now,
You're going to get these kids hurt.
If the rule changes with the transfer portal and it changes till after the bowl games, now I can see them keeping the same amount of games. But if this portal stuff continues, I think you got to make a move and maybe do the big bowls and just cut the little bowls out and let.
I think you almost have to now.
Well, and what you got to do on that is like some of these mid majors, like James Madison, let them find a team to play at the end of the regular season that had a winning record, and just let them be a game at their place, like just sort of like a scrimmage. Instead, just let it be a regular game, and instead of just going back and forth to different stadiums every single year to figure out how many players we want to have on the team and whatnot, you can just stay at home and find a team to play.
There were kids playing completely out of position, playing offensive line against Big Ten teams, playing offensive line against SEC teams. I mean,
you remember,
you're going to get these kids hurt.
Syracuse was playing a tight end at quarterback. Syracuse played tight end at quarterback.
I know. And we're talking about Syracuse. This is an ACC school. Oklahoma, their entire offensive line transferred in the transfer portal. They had tight ends playing offensive line.
Yep.
Oklahoma. We're not talking about James Madison or Troy. We're talking about Oklahoma.
Practice? I'm talking about practice?
You're going to get kids hurt.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're going to get kids hurt.
Well,
if you don't do something about it.
I think that's tough, Brad, because like I said, all the money involved, this, that, and the third. They're gonna start making stipulations to the NIL money. If you don't, especially if you're one of those teams who in this and you decide to opt out, because somebody's gonna opt out regardless. You see what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna opt out.
Well, you're gonna have a lot of NFL
this year. I don't think you'll have it the first year. Maybe moving forward, you're gonna have it, and I think
NFL opt-outs are gonna happen, Jason.
Well, that's what I was saying. The NFL opt-outs are gonna
but
happen.
I don't think they're gonna opt out this year. Coming up, I think it would be a year in which no one really opts out. Depending on their season, if they don't make this top 12. But I don't think the 12 teams, they're not gonna have any opt-outs. You see what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be a focus on this. Because it's gonna be a focus.
Well, here's my issue.
Jerry Carter has another one right here. There's a lot of empty stadiums in these bowl games too.
That's what I was going to get at.
It's too many. Yeah, it's too many.
That's what I was getting at here. I watched a game. I don't know. It was early in the bowl season. I bet you they wasn't 30 people there. 30 now, people.
Yeah, I mean,
30
there's a lot of empty stadiums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Josh,
I mean, I think it's a fly. I think it has to be done.
But see, here's the problem you're going to have. And I don't know if Jason agrees with this or not, but if you have guys that are NFL opt-outs, the other guys are going to opt out too. You're going to have to change some of this stuff. Like you're going to have to change the rules on it.
Yeah, it's gonna get changed. Something's gonna get changed because, like I said, it's too many bowl games. It's too much money being spent. But like I said, these playoff games are, like I said, they're not going nowhere. If they're gonna be hosting at the college arena,
they don't even have enough 6-6 teams. They don't even have enough 6-6 teams, 500 teams to cover all the spots.
And another thing too,
for the 41 bowls already.
If you look in the last 2 or 3 years, they've had to put 5-win teams in because of their academic thing, because they wouldn't enough bowl slots for other teams.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about.
And I think that's atrocious.
Yeah, because there's
I know
too many bowls.
academics. I know academics are a big thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But a 5-win or 4-win team shouldn't be able to go to a bowl. That's just. But I just think that's like giving out participation trophies.
Guys, it comes down to this. We've seen it this year. Most of these teams and these players don't care about them. The fans don't care about them. The fans aren't showing up. That hardly anybody even watches those early bowl games. The early ones. The fans don't show up. I mean, it's clear to me that they're just useless games.
Can't say that. You can't say that.
Clear.
You really can't say that useless game because you gotta understand. You know how hard it is to win 6 games. Like we can't. We're used to seeing great football living where we live. Now it's always some guys and some kids who this is going to be their last game regardless, and so. This means everything. Is there a sold out Rose Bowl or Peach Bowl or Citrus Bowl? No, it's not. But it gives people a chance. And if you really go to their school,
sometimes there's probably not 200 people in the stands.
Well, if you go visit the winning teams, their game not even sold out at home. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, think about it. They're not packing.
My question to you is this, Jason: how does the bowl make money? How does the bowl actually make money when you invite a team?
The bowl pays out.
It's only going to get
the bowl pays out. The bowl pays out. You got to remember that. So
I'm not talking about the teams making money from the bowl. I'm talking about how does the bowl make money?
They are advertising their product. They're paying for a bowl. Whenever you talk about it, it's their name. It's their bowl. Whatever name it is, that's their bowl. That's their product. So it's kind of like if
that company's forking out. Let's just say that company's forking out $30 million to put their name on that bowl.
No, not every bowl. Not every bowl is worth that.
I'm just throwing out a number, Jason. Just throwing out a number. But what I'm saying to you is, if there's $30 million there and they're selling 200 damn tickets, it doesn't add up. Somewhere along the line, it doesn't add up.
It does add up, Brad.
As a business person,
if you throw
as a business person, it does not add up.
Brad, if you're throwing out 30 million, right? You're not having a Pop-Tart bowl. You're not having a Pop-Tart bowl. If you're throwing out 30 million, you're in one of those granddaddies of the mall bowls. See what I'm saying? You're
getting hung up on the number. I don't care if it's 300,000. If it's 300,000 and you're only making $300, the numbers don't add up.
Well, your customer acquisition. You're paying for customer acquisition. You know that, Brad. You know that.
Somewhere along the line, Jason, the numbers of that do not add up.
They don't, Brad, but who is going to turn down someone trying to sponsor a bowl? Now, with this college playoff, it's going to be about 6 bowls cut anyway. You think about it. The college playoff is going to cut 6 bowls. Think about that. It's going to cut 6 bowls and generate so much money.
Well, the problem you got too many bowls to begin with. You got the Pop-Tart bowl, the Cheez-It bowl, the Hammer Bowl. I mean, it's just a bunch of random weird names.
Idaho Potato Bowl, the Tic Tac Bowl, the Mr. Clean Bowl, the Itty Bitty Dirt Bowl. I mean, you got them all.
As long as my company is in front of bowl, listen, I'm on national TV.
You making money, buddy.
Make your money. Like, come on,
the bacon's coming home, son.
Hey, it's coming home one way or the other. But Brad, how do you not know that if I damn this bowl out to me, that I'm not getting some of those deals, that commercial money? Like, it's deeper than that, Brad. Like
the Brad Stocks Bowl.
Hey, I heard
we got the Brad Stocks Bowl.
Joshua Hart said the college sportscast bowl is coming soon.
Hey, listen.
Hey,
as long as they're sharing their revenue, hey, they just got to share some of their revenue, that commercial money. If they share some of that commercial, them ad money, listen, I'm all for it.
We got the small town laundromat bowl. I mean,
Hey,
it's wild, man.
Hey, you know what it is? It take money to make money. You see what I'm saying? You got to spend it. You got to spend it.
I'm just saying, guys. All right. So we could each run through real quick and do a final buzzer. This is where we take about a minute or two at the tops and kind of go through. Mine is, I'm going to start with this. I got about 2 or 3 things going on with Kentucky basketball that I want to address real quick. One, NCAA, it's been 96 damn days since Big Z hit soil in Lexington, and you still haven't done a damn thing. It's time to get off your ass, to be quite honest with you. 2, Calipari, what the hell's really going on with Adu Thiero and Calipari? I have never in my life, I have watched probably 500,000 freaking basketball games played, coached, and watched. I have never in my life seen a guy take out his top scoring efficient player of a game down the stretch, completely take him out of the game. He gets 0 minutes, the last 5 minutes. And then as your top scorer, he plays very little in overtime and comes in and out on defense. I've never witnessed that ever in my entire life, and I don't understand it. And I mean, honestly, what the hell is going on there? That's all I want to know.
And my final buzzer is, it's negative 15 wind chill here, and we're supposed to get another snowstorm to Thursday and Friday, 2 to 6 inches after we've already got 8 here. And I'm telling you, I'm going to have cabin fever before it's over. And if I have to look at Brad anymore, I will lose my mind.
Hey, we got 5 inches of snow right now.
Is that what y'all got? Yeah.
Man, listen, my sentiments to you, we're down here dealing with a little snow. Schools are closed. Kids won't go back to school till Thursday. So I'm stuck in the house with kids.
He said little snow.
Little snow. We just got ice. We don't get all the blizzard and things like that. But when it does come down, we treat it like a blizzard down here because we're not used to it. My gripe would be shouts out to Coach Jerry Stackhouse on his comments. He commented, a.k.a. Chris Beard has the best team money can buy. And all I would say is, Jerry Stackhouse, hey, it's not my fault you took the toughest Ivy League school in the SEC with the high academic standards that you can't get transfers. It's not our fault. It's not our fault. It's the level playing field now, baby. Just because they'll come to Oxford, like, listen, I love Nashville.
Yeah.
But hey, Vanderbilt, you got to talk to your academic people, man. Y'all have strict restrictions on letting kids in with those transcripts. So kudos to Jerry Stackhouse for recognizing that Ole Miss has the best team money can buy.
And Jerry,
I told you it was coming. I told you.
And Jerry, I do not want to talk NFL. I do not want to talk NFL.
Wow.
I tried to talk about it at the beginning, but he didn't want to talk about it for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
Couldn't figure that one out.
We know exactly why, Brad. But you're fixing to face the Rams Saturday night, so it's It's all good. It's all good. More.
Hey, the
Love you
49ers, I said it. The 49ers have been our kryptonite, and we will see. We'll probably get the same treatment that y'all got from us. But I'm going to enjoy this week. It's all I know.
All's good in the 11 more, buddy. Let me tell you. Are we gonna have it Thursday or are we gonna do it Friday?
All I know is I'm going to enjoy this week.
You mentioned you said
But
we
Jerry,
might change it to
watch out. Jordan loves playing some ball, and I hope we kick y'all's ass. That's all I want to say.
You mentioned
John and
something.
Brad, I gotta go. I gotta get to another call. I just got a big time kid in our program. Right. Phones is ringing off the hook. So I'll tell you Sunday about it. I'm out.
All right, man. I'll see you on Sunday, man.
Hey, are we going to do the show
Friday?
All right,
guys. That was Jason Harrison.
You had mentioned we might change it to Friday night.
I mean, yeah, we can if you want to. We can either do it Thursday or Friday. But our next show will be Game Day Pick'em, 8 o'clock. Be Thursday or Friday. We've been doing them on Thursday, but we'll see.
It feels like
we might do it on Friday this week.
It feels like they do better on Friday nights, I think.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Go 49ers.
This has been our
Go 49ers.
This has been our fun show.
Go
Jerry,
49ers.
I appreciate you being on here, man. Seriously, I'm just like messing with all the NFL stuff. I am a big Packers fan.
Go 49ers. Make the Packers feel.
Put you up there. Go 49ers. But I'm going to end it with this. Go Pack, go. That's all I've got to say.
Have a good one, everybody.
All right. Y'all have a good one. We will see you for our Game Day Pick.